Hi, welcome to the Tammi Collins Show. Today we're actually filming live at Winchester Weight Loss with Jacqueline Shoemaker.
Hi, Tammi.
Hi.
Thank you for having me.
It's so fun to be here. You are such an interesting person. And I remember the first time that we actually met for breakfast and coffee. Yes, it was raining. It was a horrible day. But what you had to say to me I thought was incredibly fascinating. And you're not just a business owner, but you also have a title.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about who you are.
Well, I'm a family nurse practitioner. I have been in healthcare since the 90s, believe it or not. I started out as a nurse. I've worked at the local hospital. I've worked in various departments. But since 2008, I've taken an interest in medical weight management and have worked, mostly in Northern Virginia, but for the past 3 years, I've been local. Mm-hmm. And I really have a passion for helping people with their chronic disease and illness. I want to help them cure their diabetes, cure their high blood pressure, their heart disease through nutrition. And I believe that that is possible with a clean, healthy lifestyle that can be safe for the whole family.
So I know that when people see the name maybe Winchester Weight Loss, they're thinking, oh, this is Jenny Craig, this is Weight Watchers, this is just one of those other things, Marie Osmond's here, kind of thing. But that is really not at all the approach that you have.
Exactly. So what we do, like when a patient comes in, we're a typical medical office facility. Patients come in, they check in with the front desk, we collect all their demographic information, we're taken back into a room, and then we go over their entire medical history. They're given a physical exam. We order blood work, EKG. The visits are billable through health insurance.
Nice.
We don't file, but we show the patient how to file on their own. Mm-hmm. We take the flex spending or the health savings cards, and many people do get reimbursed by their health insurance, which is a bonus for what we do, because I'm, again, a family nurse practitioner, so this is considered just your typical medical office visit. We're just out of network with the insurance provider.
Yeah. Okay. So one of the other things that I was really impressed by is, because I love history, the amount of research that you've done on how we've gotten to the food pyramid and how it's skewed, and you even threw some info about World War II in there. I just butchered that, but can you help me?
No.
Help me explain that.
I guess just to lead into that, I was working family practice, and for the first time, I had the opportunity not just to see the patient in the hospital one time, but I had the opportunity to see them month after month. And with that, I was seeing their diabetes get worse, their high blood pressure get worse, their heart disease get worse, their weight would increase. And so I was thinking, either there's something wrong with what I'm teaching them, or perhaps all my patients are liars. So I chose not to believe the latter half. So I said, I'm going to research. I need to understand what's going on with what we're teaching. And what I came across is that as far back as the 1700s, Dr. Johns said, the root of all disease is sugar and starch. 1863, Dr. Banting came on into the picture, and he was a mortician. Actually, he lost 50 pounds eating a clean, healthy lifestyle, and he wrote,
sleeping in formaldehyde.
I know, and he wrote a paper about it and became very famous. So in the United Kingdom and parts of South Africa, many people say they're following a Banting lifestyle. So you can say you're a South African Banter, and they even have a whole Banting aisles in the grocery store.
Really?
So Banting is really popular in other societies. So then it progressed, probably the 1920s. The lifestyle that I teach was taught in medical school, in textbooks, as the cure for diabetes and heart disease. It's not a new subject that we're teaching. We're just bringing back history here, folks. So then again, probably all the way up until the 1950s, it remained in textbooks taught in medical school. So kind of what happened after, the 50s, there was the end of World War II, and there was a rise in heart disease. So we had to think, well, what was the cause? Well, there was a rise in cigarette smoking.
Right.
There was a rise in processed food. Now, we certainly, those industries did maybe line the pocket of some politicians, and I don't want to be too political, but so there was an impact in our culture and our society because they didn't want to blame those two industries.
Sure.
So in the 1950s, all this information was removed from textbooks. We were taught that fat was bad because you got more calories from fat, and fat then became demonized. And we, with no medical study, no randomized controlled trials, which was a standard of practice in medicine. They just chose to pick fat as the problem with our nutrition, and that was the reason people gained weight. That was the reason people had heart disease, without appropriately doing any studies. Then I believe it was 1977, the U.S. Senate committee met for about 8 hours. I think it was led by Senator McGovern, who was running for president, and some particular folks were probably lining his pockets too. Again, I'm trying to avoid politics
if you're
here.
related to Senator McGovern,
no, I don't know.
Please don't
I don't know
write
for
in.
sure.
Please don't
but I do know that in the U.S. Senate committee did meet 1977 for about 8 hours, and they deliberated on what is now known as the food pyramid. They sort of
8 hours, and they came up.
They made up with that, so it's made up.
Okay.
So without appropriate research or resources, so then that morphed into what is known as the food pyramid.
Right.
And what is really unfortunate is we're the only country in the entire world that teaches the food pyramid.
I don't think I knew that. I mean, you grow up in elementary school learning about the food pyramid, and I just assumed that it was...
Who funds school lunches?
Everywhere.
The USDA.
Well, yeah, that's true.
So it's federally mandated to be taught in public school and medical school, nursing school, pharmacy school. It doesn't necessarily make that it's right, and it doesn't discount anyone's medical education. It's just we were taught the wrong things on nutrition. So then from present day to My Healthy Plate, obesity rates from the 1980s to present day has tripled. So with the creation of that, you can say, well, that's clearly not really helped anyone. So I'm part of a movement, a healthcare movement, a paradigm shift in healthcare that says, we need to change things. We need to follow the medical research. And there is an abundance of research, more than 70 studies that indicate that this lifestyle is cleaner, is healthier, and our natural native lifestyle that we should be following. Some may even call it a modified Mediterranean diet. But it really needs to be looked at as not a diet, but as a way of life.
A lifestyle change.
I breastfed on the plan, and then at 6 months old, I put my baby on the plan because I believe that it's just a clean way to be.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's for everyone. I'm a member of the Obesity Medical Association, the World Obesity Federation, and the Obesity Society. And OMA, the Obesity Medical Association, this is their national guideline for weight loss and helping with diabetes and heart disease. So I'm following national standards from the Obesity Medical Association.
Well, and I remembered you saying at some point that you have several clients that in a matter of weeks have gone from taking diabetic medication and having very high levels of sugar in their bodies and whatnot, and then through this process that has
by
changed.
Returning people to their native state. My clients lose 3 to 5 pounds the first week and 1 to 3 pounds every week after that. And so one particular client, she is in her 60s on 80 units of insulin in the evening, and she takes insulin for breakfast, lunch, and dinner throughout the day. And with that was her regular she was taking. Within a matter of 3 weeks, we were able to get her off all of her insulin, which is really just unheard of. A woman in her 60s on more than 80 units of insulin a day, now in 3 weeks is off of everything. Wow. She's losing weight. She's doing fabulous. She's also going to come to our Health Revolution event too, so we'll get to showcase and meet her.
So when we come back, we're going to take a commercial break, but when we come back, we're actually going to learn how you and myself, how we can actually do this new diet and the things that Jackie's offering, and we're going to talk about the Health Revolution event that's coming up. So stay tuned, we'll be right back.
SVO Media provides high-end creative production for small businesses. We specialize in film, video, audio, green screen, and visual effects. From editing, scripting, and concepts to design, we have the ability to deliver your next video project for multimedia production. We will work with you to produce a TV ad, web video, infomercial, or corporate video. Visit svomedia.com or call 703-930-9821.
Hi, welcome back to the Tammi Collins Show. We're here live today at Winchester Weight Loss with Jacqueline Shoemaker.
Hi.
Again. So we just learned about how this journey started for you. But let's say that I or someone watching wanted to come into Winchester Weight Loss and start this process.
Yes.
So what would that look like?
So a patient would come in, we would do their history, their physical exam, right. And part of that is a body composition analysis, which is kind of exciting. A lot of people really like this machine.
Scary.
When you step on the machine, there are 2 silver pads.
Okay.
And it sends electrical signal through your body. And then it tells us
that you don't feel.
You don't feel anything.
Okay.
No pain. Okay. Pain-free. So we usually select on the machine if it's male or female, if we select athletic or standard. And then with that, there are some sort of preset calculations based on that criteria. So the machine then tells us what your BMI is, your body mass index. Mm-hmm. Healthy is between 18 and 24.9. And then it also tells us what your basal metabolic rate is, how many calories a day you burn at rest, which is kind of interesting fact to know. And then it also tells us what percentage is fat, what percentage is muscle, what percentage is bone and water. So it really is a neat breakdown so you can see what your composition is. So if you're feeling that you're retaining fluid, it would let us know, hey, I've had a really good week and I know that I've lost, but I just feel like I'm holding on to some fluid this week. Well, then you could step on the body comp analyzer and it'll let me know, oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, Tammy, you're holding on to 2 pounds of fluid this week, but you lost 2 pounds of fat. Woohoo!
Perhaps more.
Well, just a basic scenario. So who knows? But it's a great way to see what the whole composition is, and to really make sure that when patients are losing, they're really losing fat, and they're not losing muscle or anything else that's critical.
Or just water that gives you a false hope.
So it's a very fun, and everyone gets a printout, and you get to have that printout every time you step on the machine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you can watch your progress.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's say that a person has a BMI higher than 29.9
or 24.9.
24.9.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
And they are wanting to lose, 50 pounds. Is that what they say to you, and then based on that information, or are you looking at a different chart that says, well, at this height you should be...
Yeah, I don't ever like to pick the number on the scale that patients have to be, because that's a number that you have to be comfortable with. I usually kind of give them a range of about 20, 30 pounds of which would be about healthy for them. Mm-hmm. And then I look for the BMI to be between 18 and 24.9. So even if, say, your BMI is 30 or 35 or even 40, wherever it needs to be, I want you to get your BMI so you're not at risk for a heart attack or a stroke. That's my goal first, is to get you healthy.
So weight loss has nothing. I was going to say, so weight loss is really just the side effect of being healthy. Oh, that's a great approach.
So we also look at fat percentage. Your fat percentage, for ladies, you want under 34%. So my goal is to get the fat percentage under 34%. We're allowed to have a little breast and booty, so you're allowed to have a little bit of body fat, but not too much. We want 34%. So, and then of course we do a waist circumference at the top of the hips and at the belly button. And again, for ladies, we want under 35. Gentlemen, they're allowed to be 40. They're allowed to have wider hips, surprisingly, and we're the ones who give birth.
Good to know, guys.
So, but they're allowed to have bigger hips. So I look at those. Those are my standards to say, okay, are you at risk for a heart attack? Are you at risk for a stroke? I want to get you in those healthy zones, and then where you end up on the scale is really up to you. What makes you happy, where you feel comfortable in your skin, but let's just make sure you're in a healthy range. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. So basically once you get this process ready for this person and you say, okay, these are the foods that you need to eat. There's a percentage of fat and carbs and... Yeah,
so then what we do is, once we've completed, our physical, we've ordered blood work, we've done all the things we need to do, we will sit down. And my visits, I have a gift of gab. I do talk a little too much. But our visits are usually about an hour to an hour and a half. I try and cap it at that point.
I don't know, ours are usually longer than that.
They do. We get 2 gate ladies that can gab. So I try and keep it at that hour, hour and a half, and we go over an entire packet. I let them know where their guidelines are, where they should be, what's most ideal for health. And then we go through the history that we sort of touched on the previous segment. And then I let them see, okay, these are the guidelines of what you should be eating. And one of the first things I start with is just sort of a pie of their macros. Everything you eat is either a protein, a carbohydrate, or a fat. And what is most ideal on the lifestyle that we teach is having the right amount of fat, because you need fat to burn fat. It's kind of like throwing a log into the fire. Do you get a log back out? No. Fat cannot make fat. So really, for optimal nutrition, 70% of your day should be fat. 25% protein. Not a lot of protein, because excessive protein will turn into insulin and cause fat storage.
And insulin is the devil, you've said.
Insulin is the devil. It is the root of weight gain. So everything we do is trying to prevent insulin from coming out and causing weight gain. And so that leaves us with the last piece, the carbs being at 5% or less, because again, that will promote insulin to come out, which means fat storage. We only have 1.5 teaspoons of sugar in your bloodstream at any given time. So anytime you raise your blood sugar above 1.5 teaspoons, you're at risk for diabetes. You're at risk for that insulin to come out. So the body is always trying to keep that blood sugar low. And if the standard American diet, we're inundated with sugar in so many different sources. You're like, well, I don't eat sweets. Well, it's hidden in so many other things.
Right.
And so many of us deal with this level of insulin resistance, which means that we eat anything and insulin's just saying store, 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 store. So I like to teach people how to turn that off, how to turn off that insulin and tone it down, which will amplify your fat burn.
Wow, that is so interesting. So you used the analogy one time of a key, and you said like a swollen door in the winter.
So a little bit on how insulin works. When we eat, our blood sugar goes up, then insulin's secreted by our pancreas, and it lowers the blood sugar. Well, what does it do with it? Insulin actually is the key to open the door and allows the sugar to go into the cells. But what happens with this standard American diet, our cells are full. They're saturated. They're bursting at the seams. So then the door goes slamming shut. So no matter how much insulin keeps knocking, that key's not working. So insulin, is not able to deliver the sugar into the cell. The cells are full. So that's where you hear the term insulin resistance. So insulin always has a backup plan. Our body wants homeostasis. So then insulin says, come on, come with me, sugar. Let's get out of the bloodstream because we have to get out. And let's go over to the liver to make cholesterol and to store fat on the waist, hips, and thighs.
Yum.
Thank you, insulin. So that's why we want to keep insulin at bay, because it really is problematic. There are many factors that cause weight. From age to genetics to, hormones to a variety of different things. And we can't change all those factors. Everyone wants to blame it on gluttony and sloth and you just don't move and you just eat too much, but that's really not the case. It has a lot to do with our hormones, specifically insulin. And insulin's one that we can manipulate. Insulin's one that we can change, and insulin's one that we can keep at bay. So he is the devil. Don't invite him over.
All this time I thought it was Prado. I don't know. Maybe not. So once a person starts working with the new lifestyle change in terms of how they eat and what they're eating, there are also some additional things that you can come to Winchester Weight Loss to do to help that along. And when we come back, we're going to talk about that. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
SVO Media provides high-end creative production for small businesses. We specialize in film, video, audio, green screen, and visual effects. From editing, scripting, and concepts to design, we have the ability to deliver your next video project for multimedia production. We will work with you to produce a TV ad, web video, infomercial, or corporate video. Visit svomedia.com or call 703-930-9821.
Welcome back. We're here today at Winchester Weight Loss with Jacqueline Shoemaker. And Jacqueline has been talking about some really interesting things in terms of eating better in a different way, not just eating healthier in terms of protein and no carbs and so on and so forth, but it really is a whole package. But there are some other things that are available through your service that can help ramp that up, right? And it has actually something to do with Navy SEALs.
Yes. We're excited.
Like Navy SEAls.
Yes.
Love our military.
I'm also a captain in the Air Guard.
Oh,
so
wow.
So I have an appreciation for the military.
Yes.
But I am in love with this product called Keto Os. It's something that we offer here. Now, I'm never someone who pushes a lot of products, so you can come and not have to use any product at all. That's not, we're about real food from the grocery store. But an additional option that's here is taking what's called exogenous ketones. And explaining what a ketone is
sounds like a group from the 50s.
Really, it's an ultimate fuel source for the brain. The brain wants to run off ketones, which is like a fat, and this fat is able to amplify your energy. help with mental fog, amplify fat burning, enhance how you feel, help your mood, help you sleep better, help digestion, enhance your skin. It has many, many wonderful benefits. And how it started, I believe it was the Department of Defense. They had an option for a grant for someone to research and figure out how to prevent these Navy SEALs from having seizures when they were diving really deep. There's lack of oxygen to the brain, so they're at risk for having seizures. So Dr. Dominic D'Agostino and his team at the University of South Florida won the grant, and they started studying, and they're like, well, how do we, what do we do here to help these guys out? And they found out that putting them in a ketogenic diet would help prevent seizures, which is really well known in the epilepsy world. Ketosis prevents seizures. It lowers that hyperexcitability to the brain. So they were able to dive and be successful and not seize. But the trouble was to keep them into ketosis. How do you do that?
Yeah, because there are 20-something men.
I'm sure they might have a pizza or whatnot and not be able to stay on track. So they have to be mission ready. So they developed a product that will get you into ketosis in about an hour. Drinking exogenous ketones, compared to nutritionally, it can take 3 to 4 days or more for some people to get into that ketogenic state where you're at your optimal fat burning state. So this is what athletes are doing. This is what some Olympians have done and actually won medals this past Olympic season. Wow. What many 100-mile runners are doing. So this is a way to just sort of enhance who you are. So we're really enjoying it. I mean, you can see some of the benefits are fat loss, sustained energy, reducing that brain fog, increasing focus, appetite suppression, strength, mood, sleep, better digestion, better skin. So you can drink this once or twice a day and amplify how you're feeling. And it's called Keto Os. And there's a link on my Facebook page to click on it and buy some if you'd like it. We only keep a few samples here, but yeah.
But you can also go on your on there and get a discount.
Yes, on the link that we posted on our Facebook page, there is a 20% discount if you order it through the link versus full price on the website.
So your favorite is the Maui Punch.
Maui Punch, I'm really enjoying that. That's relatively new. It's newly released, but I really enjoy that one. I have a little, I like the chocolate too. So
the chocolate was, I actually put it in coffee the other morning. So I made like a keto chocolate latte espresso concoction.
And then there's this one, of course, is like the Orange Dream, which some people think tastes like a dreamsicle.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not a citrus fan, so it's not my favorite, but Lexi, one of our office managers, she is in love with this stuff, so it's good to know.
So in addition to this, you also have a magic machine.
The machine, it's one of our favorites. The machine is called the Verjus laser. And lasers have been used in healthcare for more than 20 years. I mean, in various capacities. Mm-hmm. Probably 2004, they came out with the laser from Marconi, which is the name of the company that develops the laser. And it was used as laser-assisted liposuction since 2004. So it's been out for a long time. And they found that through that, there was less bleeding, better body contouring, greater results. And someone got the brilliant idea, hey, let's just use the laser without the lipo and see what kind of results we get. And they really do get nice results. So on average, people can lose up to 4 inches off their waist, hips, and thighs collectively. It can smooth out cellulite and improve 1 to 2 stages of cellulite. So really how it works, the laser light shines through your skin, so it doesn't harm skin. It's no pain. It's considered a cool light laser. So it shines through the skin, and it dilates and opens up the pores of the fat cells. And your fat cells look like clusters of grapes. So it dilates, opens up the fat cell. The cholesterol then can drain and leak out of those pores.
Ooh, that sounds
So now you have a little emulsification in there. And then the lymphatic system picks that up and you expel it. So that's how normal weight loss occurs. The laser is just simply accelerating it. Lasers are used to accelerate wound healing after burns and various other injuries. I mean, it's used to accelerate healing in a lot of different ways. So it's just accelerating the normal weight loss process. So it has many FDA approvals. It's the only FDA-approved green light laser. So there are some machines out there in various places that use like an LED light. This is actually a green light laser. You have to use visual protection, but it does a wonderful job in helping to take a few inches. And some people lose a half an inch to an inch in just one treatment, which is exciting. And
so
go ahead.
So you measure their waist.
Measure their waist prior to treatment and mark it with an ink pen so you see exactly where we measure.
Okay.
And then 40 minutes later, we will measure you and you will be smaller.
Now, can I just reserve like a 3-day stint?
You can only have one treatment every couple of days, so you need a few days break.
Book my vacation.
Because your pores will actually stay open and you'll continue to lose for the next 3 days.
Really?
So it keeps the pores open. So you need to drink plenty of water to flush and to hydrate.
Do you feel any of that happening?
Some people feel a little energy boost because their fat is being released. And as we've spoken about, fat is an amazing fuel source. So they feel a little boost of energy with it. So that's a nice little component to think about. And then we do a lymphatic massage, which we teach folks in the room how to do that on their own because we encourage you can get a rolling pin and do it at home. But we have a galvanic massager in the back that shows you how to do that. It also helps to break up some of that fascia and the adhesions in there, helping to smooth the body contouring process as well.
I would probably need a grape press.
Oh, no, you're too hard.
Dive right in there.
So that's a nice benefit. So no, there's no excuse for clean eating and taking care of yourself, but this is just an added enhancement and a benefit here at the clinic. So anybody that books it like a laser package, I highly encourage them to follow the nutritional plan. You're not forced to, but I teach it and I include it in a laser package just so they know how to eat well.
And I think it's really interesting that all of this is right here in Winchester. I mean, this is something you would expect to find in LA, things like, the Kardashians go to. But no, it's right here, and it's very affordable, and you get to hang out with you for an afternoon, apparently. So I'm pretty excited to announce to our viewers that you're actually going to be giving away
one laser treatment,
and that's 40 minutes, and they get measured, and they can talk to you about the other thing. But in order for you to be eligible to win this free laser treatment, go to Winchester Weight Loss Facebook page and comment, and share, and you will then be eligible to win this. And we'll announce that on our next show, and it'll also be announced on Facebook. So the last giveaway we had, somebody in Dayton, Ohio won it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So they'd have a little bit of traveling to do, but it
a
would
little
still
bit
be
of traveling, yes. But
we'd still welcome them.
But you could do like a face-to-face with them, a Skyping.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Face-to-face
We could always transition into that. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so be sure to check that out on her Facebook page. And thank you again for letting us into your home. And we'll see you next time on The Tammi Collins Show.